So welcome back, and we are going to start with the evening lecture. That is on types of organization. Basically, there are two types of organization: formal organization and informal organization. Just talking about formal and informal. Formal organizations are those organizations that are actually the rule of a company. That is a part of company's rule and regulation. Like as in our college, one principal is there, and we are having head of department and uh, associate professor, and then assistant professor, like this. Similarly, formal organization is like that. Some organization having its own system of organization. Formal organization refers to a structure which is consciously designed to enable people of the organization to the work together in accomplishing the common objective. It is predetermined by the top management to facilitate smooth functioning of the organization. The authority responsible for relationship created by the organization structure are to be followed by the employees in the organization. It is created as a result of company's rule and policy. Uh, the organization structure that is designed by the company itself is formal organization, and informal organization is that is not formally organized by the company. The individual itself organize themselves into an organization structure. That particular organization is called informal organization. The informal organization refers to the relationship between the people in the organization based on the personal likes, dislikes, emotions, attitudes, etc. These relationships are not in terms of procedure and regulation laid down in the formal organization. These groups are not pre-planned; they develop automatically within the organization. The member in information organization is volunteer, and it originates as a result of social interaction. So, uh, suppose one person likes to sit with someone, he uh, then starts working with that particular person. This is the organization structure, informal organization structure, right? Staffing. Next topic is staffing. Staffing involves managing the organization structure through proper and effective selection, appraisal, development of personnel to fill the roles designed into the structure. Staffing is basically hiring people for different posts in the particular organization. Hiring people for different posts. Staffing involves uh, selecting particular uh, particular manpower for particular job. Importance of staffing is helps in finding the efficient work. So basically, the process of hiring people is called staffing. And what are the importances of benefits of having a staffing is staffing helps in discovering and talented and competent workers and develop them to work more efficiently for achievement of organization goals. Right? uh, when you know there is a requirement of some person, then you look for the particular skill set that is required for that particular job. Suppose we are here, and I'm teaching here. If you want to hire a faculty for mechanical engineer, then we will look for a postgraduate or PhD in mechanical engineering. Then we'll hire that person for this particular job. So finding efficient worker is very important. Helps in increased productivity. Staffing ensures greater production by putting right man at the right job. So if you have a right person at the right position, then the productivity automatically increases. For the same thing that is done by a unskilled and one is done by the skilled labor, the both have a lot difference between the quality of product as well as the uh, time taken by that person to do that job. It helps in improvement of organization productivity through proper selection according to the requirement. Maintain harmony. Staffing maintains harmony in the organization through proper staffing. Individuals are not just recruited and selected, but their performance is regularly appraised and promotions are done. Uh, Harmony is a feeling of happiness among the different labors and peoples that are working in the organization. Sense of happiness is maintained in the individuals are those who are working in that particular organization. This gives everyone an equal opportunity for getting better compensation, which finally results in peace and harmony. Right? Like how all are having good skill sets for a particular job. So all are working together for organization, and if someone does it more better, and he is promoted for that particular job. Helps in morale boosting. Job satisfaction keeps the morale high of the employees through training and development programs. Their efficiency improves, they feel assured of their career market. When you accomplish some job, there is a satisfaction in itself that also boosts your morale to do more work, and there is a continuous process of training and for the different employees to get to do things better or in a different good organized way. Helps in optimum auto utilization of human resources. Now, when you staffing, proper staffing is done and proper with this proper skill set, then they are, if they are well aware about what they are going to do and how they are going to do it, they have a proper skill of that, then their use the utilization of manpower as well as uh, machinery is optimum. Best utilization of those resources are done by that person. Staffing helps in proper utilization of the available personal manpower. Forecasting provides a basis for the recruitment and transparent training of employees. Shortage or surplus manpower will be filled by the proper manpower planning. Now, staffing process, how staffing is done. Manpower planning and recruitment. First thing is staffing processes. You should plan for the manpower. Estimation of the manpower requirement in the future is the first stage. You first estimate what manpower is required in different departments of a particular organization. Then it is uh, planned how much new manpower is required in the coming months or coming years. It is known as manpower or human resource planning. It is purpose is to make right kind of personnel available, so there is no surplus and shortage of people in any department. Determine the qualification needed. Then we have to verify what type of skills are required, what type of qualification is required for the particular job. Suppose a person is required in accounts of the accounts department of the organization, but the knowledge that he must have as qualification is related to accounts and all that. Now, similarly, if a person in the engineering field is required, then particular job, if he is from electrical, then he should be electrical engineer, or if a job of a mechanical engineer is there, then he must have that diploma or degree in mechanical engineering, and so on. You must analyze what type of qualification is needed for that particular job. The organization, first of all, has to analyze the job, write the job description, and prepare job specification. So, when there is a planning for the particular year, when you want to recruit something, you recruit someone, then for that particular job, you need to have job description. Description is what is there in that particular job. Description is what they have to do during that, and if you are selecting that job, what they are supposed to do during that. Then job specification. Job specification is what time they are going to take, what type of work they are going to do, and other specifications related to that. This is manpower planning. Then recruitment. When you plan for something, then planning of the recruitment is there. You have planned for say 2% mechanical engineer, one electrical, and so on. Once you have planned that and job description and job specification is done, now recruitment, once you have specified that, then recruitment process is on. Once the recruitment of manpower is known, the process of recruitment starts. It is the process of identifying the sources for the prospective candidate. Now you have some job description and job specification. Now you identify where you can select these particular candidates from. Like if you want a mechanical engineer, you can go for campuses and campus placement, or you can go to some sites like Freshers World and like that for selection of these candidates to stimulate them to apply for the job, and then asking them to apply for this. It is a positive process and it attracts suitable candidates to apply for the available jobs. If you offer a good salary, then proper candidate will be available to you. The process of recruitment and the cost involved in it depends on the size of the undertaking and type of person to be recruited. Right? So this is a recruitment process. The source of the recruitment can be internal sources with internal sources within the enterprise. Like someone is working at some lower end and he has gained some knowledge about the higher post also. So he may be promoted to next post. That is internal sources. Like a person is initially assistant professor, he can be promoted to associate professor, and associate professor can be promoted to professor. This is internal process. You can get a personal from lower post, you can promote them to higher post also. External sources, like you have to go to some campuses to for campus placement. You have to go for you can give that requirement in some newspaper also, that also can attract some new candidates to apply for that particular job. Selection. The process of selection leads to the employment of the person who possesses the ability and qualification to perform the job. The following vacant in the organization. So then there is a selection process. Selection process or process selection leads to employment of person. Selection is frequently described as a negative process as it eliminates all the candidates those who do not matter. So when you give an advertisement in the newspaper and you go for a that campus placement, number of students apply for that. Say there are 60 students in the class, they all apply for that particular job. Then you have to eliminate some of the students to get the appropriate candidate for your organization. As employees are placed in the job for which they are best suited, they derive maximum job satisfaction. So when they're doing something, so when you selected something, when suppose you some company comes to campus for campus placement, all the students know what they are going to do when they are opting for that particular job. They if they opt for that job, that means they are going to get satisfied because whatever they want, they are getting from that job, reducing the labor turnover and increasing the overall efficiency of the organization. Candidates have to go through whole selection process of an organization, that is interview, test, medical exam. So if you are selected, then interviews are done, then tests are done, medical examinations are done. Finally, then but that person is being selected as a for particular job. This process is almost undertaken by all the organizations for recruitment processes. Then placements. The candidates selected for appointment are to be play over offer place specific job letters, and personnel should be placed on a position where there is full use of his strength and capabilities. Proper placement reduce absenteeism and turnover. So the person that is selected from the pool, that is from campuses or from recruitment through recruitment process of through newspaper and all that. Once that person is selected, then after selection, where he has to be appointed, then that particular position is located, and then that person is given that particular job for that position. Induction and orientation. Once you have selected that person and you have placed that and appointed that person for that job, suppose there is a selection process of in Punjab government. Then after selection, you selected for that job. Then after you are given a particular post, let's say JE in Amritsar or SDO in Amritsar. After selection in Amritsar, SDO in Amritsar, then what has to be done is induction and orientation. The particular job that is assigned to you as a SDO, what is to be done, what is expected from you. Then its orientation and induction is done. Induction is the process of familiarization as a new employee to the new workspace surrounding company's rule and regulation. Induction program is generally informal in case of small organization, but in large organization, orientation or induction is carried out on formally so that the new employees develop a favorable attitude towards the company. As the new employee is being selected, then that particular environment to get settled down in that particular environment where he has to work. Some induction programs are there. Induction program is as informal. You can talk about informal induction is you just arrange a party and then all the employees meet that particular person and speak about themselves and uh, his skills and they share their skills and so on like that. That is the induction program. Then training and development. Once you have done with the induction and orientation, that is the induction and orientation is basically familiarizing that particular person with the work culture and the new people that are around him. Right? Training and development. Next step is training and development. Training is an organized activity for increasing the knowledge and skills of the people for a definite purpose. Its purpose is to achieve change in the behavior of the employees and to enable them to do their job better. The initiative for training usually comes from the management development emphasis on growth of an individual. It is continuous process development helps in overall growth of the employee. Now, training and development. When you are talking about training and development, when you selected someone, generally in government sector, when you are in say BSNL, yeah, when you are working in some where there is high training is required, then in some PSPCL also, there is a training of their employees to use their infrastructure that is available with the PSPCL or BSNL. So how to use that particular equipment and how to measure how much current is coming and how much increasing their step up voltage is there, how to use that transformers, how to change transformers, all that related to that information or training is done to the different members or those who are getting selected in that particular placement, right? All that. Then after training, performance appraisal. It refers to all the formal procedures used in the organization to evaluate employees and their contribution. It also reveals as to how efficiently the subordinate is performing job to know his aptitude and other qualities necessary for performing the job assigned to him. Performance appraisal is once that training is over, he can work in that particular environment of that institute or organization. Once that is complete, after or say when he is working, there is a regular process of performance appraisal annually. What is done, the annual appraisal is or performance appraisal is, and the number of employees are working under say in a particular environment. You keep on evaluating who is performing better, who is performing better, right? So with the that performance appraisal, some give them the bonuses and all that. Promotion and transfer, right? But as I told you earlier also, performance appraisal is a process that all companies follow. They keep on evaluating their employees regularly, who is performing better and who is not performing better. Then after getting their performance appraisal from their employees and all that, then promotions and transfers are done. Promotion refers to being placed at a higher job with more salary and job satisfaction. On the basis of feedback report or employees' performance, they are given promotion. Once you have given that performance appraisal of different employees, then if they are if someone is expert in the region, he can be promoted to some higher responsibility in higher position. And transfer means shifting of an employee from one job to another, one department to other. It takes due to change in organization structure. Sometimes a particular person has to be transferred to some other department because of some change in volume of work that is not coming properly. Still sitting idle, then he has to be transferred to some other place to work. Uh, and compensation of employees for their services and important responsibility of an organization. Every organization must offer good wages, pay salaries, other rewards, to attract and retrain talented employees. Compensation to the worker will be vary depending upon the nature of job, skill required, and risk involved in nature of job. So compensation is all about the wages, salaries, and all that. Yeah. So it depends on the type of work they are doing. If a person is doing work in sitting in an AC, he may be paid less, and if a person is working in hazardous environment, he can be paid more than that. So this is process of staffing process, right? These are 9 steps of staffing process. Then let us take one poll. Next step is directing. Next part of this is directing or direction game. Direction is the interpersonal aspect of managing by which subordinates are led to understand and contribute effectively and efficiently to attainment of enterprise objectives. The manager must stimulate action by giving direction to his subordinates through orders and also supervise their work to ensure that the plans and policies achieve the desired action result. Uh, Direction is just giving direction to your subordinates, like person working under a manager. Manager has to give them direction that this particular task has to be completed today. That particular task has to be completed today. Then once you have given them a task, then you must keep on taking follow-ups. How much work is done, how much time it will take to complete that. So this is direction. Then importance of direction or benefits of direction. That is, direction initiate action that motivates people to convert their sources into productive outputs. Right? Uh, just that manager will give that direction that completes that task, particular task. That means it will convert the resources, that raw material into productive outputs. It gives support substance to managerial functions of planning, organizing, staffing, control. People learn to manage the resources in the most effective way that results in optimum utilization. Now, second benefit is create sound work environment. If directions are issued in consultation with employees, it creates an environment of understanding where people work to their maximum potential, willingly and enthusiastically to contribute towards organizational goals. Sound work environment. What is sound work environment? A person who is willing to work, say, one person is willing to work from 9 to 5, one person is willing to work from 10 to 6. A manager can ask them to produce their product from 10 to 6, 9 to 5, and one person may be happy in working or welding something. One person may be happy in turning in something. So, if you give a work or choice, a work of their choices, it creates an environment of understanding that people work to their maximum potential. So, in such an environment, all employees work to their maximum potential. That the work they can do maximum is called maximum work potential, and with their own willing and with full enthusiasm. Develops manager. What is develops manager? Manager who are personally motivated to work can also direct others to work. Manager develops their skills and competencies. So if a particular manager wants their employees to work to different skills, then he himself should have that skill, right? Uh, a person sitting at the chair of principal in our college, he does not know how to teach. He cannot ask us to teach in a better place or better in a better way, right? Similarly, in a manager, if manager doesn't know how to work on particular machine and how particular skill, if he doesn't have that skill, he cannot motivate and communicate to his subordinates or employees to work efficiently and effectively. This is beneficial for both employees and organizations. Direction thus prepares future managers. Behavioral satisfaction. Since direction involves human behavior and physiology, employees feel behaviorally satisfied and personally inspired to achieve organization goals. So increase in productivity. Personally satisfied employees contribute towards output and efficiency of the organization. Direction gets maximum out of subordinates by exploiting their potential and increasing their capacity to work. If it is given proper direction, then personal satisfied employees will contribute maximum in their output and efficiency. Direction gives maximum output to the of subordinates and exploiting their potential. Though whatever the potential that particular employee is having, that can be exploited in a better way, and that will result in the increasing their capability to work. Achieve coordination. What is coordination? And there are a number of employees working or different departments working. The working between or the coordination, that is when they coordinate with each other. That also increases. Direction aims at continuous supervision of activities. It achieved coordination by ensuring that people work toward planned activities in a coordinated manner. It integrates the action of employees that increase their understanding for mutual interdependence and their collective efforts to achieve the organization goal. Right? Like one, there is a welding department, one is turning department. There will be increased coordination between welding and that turning and machine shop also, and foundry, say foundry. All these will get good coordination with each other if the manager is directing them in a good manner. Facilitates control. Coordination brings actual performance in a conformity and with a planned performance. The controlling function is thus facilitated through effective direction. If a good direction is given by the manager to the employees, then controlling is also done very effectively. Controlling the action, how much production is required, how much time is required, and all that. Facilitates changes. Direction helps in introducing changes in the organization structure, adapting the organization structure to external environment. People are not easily receptive to changes. Direction helps in changing attitude of the people in the positive way. So then when there is something change in some work culture that is not accepted by the people, if there is a proper direction by the manager of that particular firm, then and he keeps on motivating them, and that changes will also be taken as a positive way, right? Facilitates growth. Organization open to changes responsive to growth. Those organizations which are accepting changes are, are responsive to growth also. Direction harmonize and physical, financial, and human resources. Direction will give balance to physical, financial, and human resources, various parts of the organization, and creates commitments among people to raise their standard of performance. And proper direction is given. It creates commitment also amongst various people to raise the standard of performance. Next slide is about direct elements of direction. Different elements of direction are supervision, communication, leadership, motivation, controlling. Sorry, motivation and so these are the four elements of direction. We are directing. Supervision an important element of directing. It implies overseeing the work of subordinate in order to guide and regulate their efforts. Supervision is very important at operating levels of management. Supervision is a direct contact with the worker and act as a link between worker and management. The purpose of supervision is to ensure that subordinates perform their tasks according to the prescribed procedure and as efficiently as possible. Now, first element of direction is supervision. When you are supervising their the work of your subordinates, then it is giving very important operating level of management, and then it can uh, build a direct contact with the worker and with the management also, and it will enable that it will also ensure that the subordinates perform their task according to the prescribed procedure. Their workers and employees will work according to the prescribed procedure that is being followed. And communication as an element of direction and directing, it is the process of passing information, viewpoint, facts, ideas, opinion, understanding from one person to another. So all you know what is communication? The process of passing information. Process of passing information may be ideas, maybe fact, opinions from one person to another. It is a two-way process and is complete when there is some response from the receiver of the information. When someone is sharing some information, when that person also responds to that, then it is a proper way of communication. Communication may take several forms like order, instruction, report, and suggestion. Communication may be in the form of orders. When you pass an order that that particular day is a holiday, that is an order. Then instruction, when you write some attempt your examinations, there are instructions written on that. You have to follow that. That is also communication. You communicate that this thing has to be followed. That white paper has to be taken. Then your roll number and all that has to be written. These are set of instructions. That is also a communication. We send information to you. Report uh, when you uh, when you attempt in your examination. After that, there is a report of your results, also report card, and then suggestions. Sometimes suggestions are also taken from the employees, like uh, when there is when there is something that is not going good, then you take suggestions from your employees also to how to improve that particular area where the improvement is required. Then leadership is leading from the front. Leadership may be defined as the process by which manager guide and influence the work of his subordinates. Manager guides and influences the work of his subordinates. How? By working on his own, he can guide and influence the work of his subordinates. The success of every enterprise is dependent on a person. The way a leader behaves, how he behaves, is the success of that particular organization or enterprise. For example, Reliance would not have been attained their present success but for able leadership of Dhirubhai Ambani. If Dhirubhai Ambani was not there, Reliance would not have attained what they have attained yet at this point. Leaders exercise his influence over the followers through the use of informal authority or power. Motivation. Uh, these are three directions: leadership, communication, and supervision. Last is motivation. Motivation means inspiring the subordinate with a zeal to do work for the accomplishment of organization objective. A manager should make appropriate use of motivational tools to activate the subordinates to work harmoniously towards achievement of organization goal. Different people are motivated by different rewards, which can be financial incentives and non-financial incentives. Motivation, when you want to motivate something, like suppose I want to motivate some of the students to study hard. What I will do, I will ask them you will be scoring higher marks if you study, work hard. Then if you want to, then in industries also, if you want to motivate an employee, you can offer them some rewards. By rewards, they get motivated to work more. As best as we have already explained that the performance appraisal, that particular performance appraisal is this. Why it is done? Because to take out a particular person and motivate him by some cash rewards and all that. If a particular person is motivated, then after looking at that person, other employees will also work hard to get higher performance, best performance reward, and so on motivating the employees to work hard for the particular organization. And controlling is a process of checking whether or not
और
proper
अपना
progress is.
वॉइस वो माउस का वॉइस कितने आ रहा है सर माइक्रोफोन
So next part of your syllabus is controlling. Controlling is whatever you have planned and organized, then controlling that particular process. Controlling is checking what is achieved and what is still is pending to achieve. Controlling is a process of checking whether or not proper progress is being made towards the objective and goals, and acting if necessary to correct any deviation. Controlling is a process of measuring current performance and evaluating against some predetermined goals, taking action so that discrepancy from the goals is removed. Controlling is basically whatever we have planned at uh, from per day to 1 month production, say what we have planned and what we are getting it, and controlling that, try to attain that. That is a process of controlling. Controlling is a process of measuring controlled performance, evaluating it against some predetermined goal. Right? Controlling is saying that actual performance is guided towards expected performance. All other functions of management cannot be completed effectively without performance of control functions. And it implies measurement of accomplishment against the standards and correction of deviation, if any, to ensure achievement of organization. The efficient system of control helps to predict deviation before they actually occur. Controlling ensures that there is effective and efficient utilization of organization resources so as to achieve the organization goals. Controlling has two basic. So basically, uh, what we have expected per day sales to 1 month sale, what we have taken as an objective and what we are achieving, that is controlling that to achieve that particular task is called controlling. Then if there is some corrective actions are required, suppose we are not able to get what we expect to achieve. If we need to produce 10 parts per day and we are not able to achieve 10 parts per day, not able to produce 10 parts per day, and then taking corrective actions to change some strategy to increase the production from, say we are getting 8 and we are expected to get 10 parts per day. So some corrective actions to be taken so that we can achieve 10 production of 10 parts per day, so on. And this controlling also ensures that there is no losses, there is no damages, no, it is a proper utilization of resources that are available in our organization to achieve the organization goal. Now controlling is further of two types. If sorry, it has two purposes. One is it facilitates coordination, it helps in planning. It has to serve two purposes. One is to facilitate coordination and help in planning. Importance of controlling: a good control system provides timely information to the manager, which is very much useful for taking various operations. The road signals at a road crossing illustrate the significance of control. Road signals are necessary to ensure that accident free and smooth traffic management. Controls are essential to any organization for its smooth functioning, significance of good control. Some importance of controlling, right? As all we have seen that there are signals at different crossings at the road. So if there is a control ava- at- available at that particular road crossing, then there is very smooth movement of that traffic. If there is no lights working, then the traffic becomes random, and it leads to unsmooth and unethical way movement of bikes and all that. So uh, when you install controlling system, it ensures that proper signal or proper information is passed on to all the employees. What is expected and how much time it requires to achieve that target. Now, important basic basis of future action. Now, when you control the per day production, say, then you give basis of it gives you basis for the future action. If the desired results are being achieved, then there is no problem. If not, we are not able to achieve the desired result, some corrective actions has to be taken. Then basis of for the future. So there is a availability of information about the whether to take some action or not. Control provides the basis for the future action. It will reduce the chances of mistake being repeated in future by suggesting preventive steps. Right? You can take preventive steps so that that production flag is not there, or production is not reduced to some extent. Second, it facilitates decision making. Now, when the production is low, you are supposed to produce 10 parts and you are not able to produce 10 parts. Instead of it, you are producing 8 parts. Then it helps to take some decisions. That means if there is a requirement of immediate workforce, more workforce, then that decision will be taken immediately. So it helps to take decision. The process of control is completely complete only when corrective measures have taken. This requires taking the right decision as to what type of follow-up actions to be taken. So whether that new employee is required or whether some machinery is required, that decision can be made immediately, right? Then third importance of controlling is facilitates discipline and other order. When you keep on controlling the system, what production, and there is a possibility that some labor or some workers is not working to its full strength, then it also discipline your workers to work properly and all. The existence of control system has a positive impact on behavior of employees. General behavior of employees is not to work. But if you keep on controlling them and you keep on checking them, then they will keep on working and they will produce the desired results. They are cautious while performing their duties as they know they are being observed by the superiors. So when they are they are being watched or they are continuously under observation, then they keep on working normally, right? Then facilitates coordination. Then after this, controlling importance of controlling is control helps in coordination of the activities of various department of the state. It also helps in coordinating with the different departments that exist in the particular system. Unity of direction. It provides the unity of direction. Then fifth part is facilitates motivation. A control system is most effective when it motivates people to high performance. Since most people respond to challenge, successfully meeting a tough standard may provide a greater sense of accomplishment. When you keep on controlling them, they will be they will be motivated to give their performance high, and hence most people respond to challenges and they successfully complete those challenges, and there is a great sense of accomplishment also. That we have done that particular work. That sense of accomplishment is there. Effective plan implementation. Controlling and planning are interdependent. Control is the only mean to ensure that the plans are being implemented. Control points out shortcomings of not only planning but also other functions of the management. Comparison can be done through various performance reports, personal observation. So effective plan implementation can be there, right? When you keep on controlling the plan that you have given to them, so that particular plan will be implemented only when you keep on controlling the process, keep on observing the things, keep on checking what is to be done and what the employees are doing. That is control. So that plan can be implemented successfully only with the controlling process. So this is uh, some of the benefits of controlling. Now, next slide is about steps of control process, how to control a process. First step to control a process is establish of standards, right? Now, standards are the plans or targets which have to be achieved in course of business. It acts as a basis of evaluation actual performance. Standard can be set in quantitative or qualitative terms. Quantitative or measurable standards can be in form of cost, output, time, profit, and qualitative non-measurable standards can be in form of performance of a manager, attitude of worker improving, motivational levels of employees. Standards should be flexible and capable of being changed according to the circumstances. Now, first of all, if you are to control something, first thing is to establish a standard. What is standard? What is to be achieved? What what standard has to be achieved? As I have told you in the previous slides also. So suppose you want to increase the production of a particular item or a particular product that was 5 and you want to increase to 8 or 10, then this is standard, right? You want to achieve per day production from 8 or 10. That has to be fixed, either 8 or 10. Then how to achieve that? That is a control. That can be even your annual uh, output or annual profit is say 700 crores, then you want it to increase from 7 to 800 crores. That can also be your standard. So that how to achieve that, that can be a different task, right? Similarly, as we have these uh, insurance companies, they are having standards like this. Uh, they have a business of say 100 crore, 200 crore, selling their insurances of general insurance or life insurance and all that. Firstly, initially they are having business of 100 crore. They want next year to be increased from 1 lakh 100 to 110 lakh 110 crore and so on. So that is a standard. First of all, what is desired, take it as standard. Then you keep on monitoring that, how to achieve that. Then second step is measurement of performance. This steps involve the measuring of the actual performance of various individual group or units. As I have told you, given an example of insurance company, the target is fixed. That company was initially 100 crore company. Then they want next year to reach to 110 crore, right? So number of employees are there who are working continuously to for selling their insurance policies and all that. So individually, if you want to increase uh, on a 10 crore business per year, then that 10 crore has to be distributed among various stakeholders or say various advisors that are under them or various employees that are under them. Then that particular value will reach each and every individual who are directly attached to that company. Then that target will be given to them. So then after that, that is going to be checked. Suppose annual target is 110 crore and each individual is getting say 25 lakhs. To achieve 25 lakhs as a policy or to sell policies of 25 lakhs. Then a manager on the above them will keep on checking what is the per month performance of particular employee, how much they are selling their insurance policy in 1 month, whether they are able to cover up in 12 months or not. So on, keep on checking that. The steps involve measuring of actual performance of various individual groups or units. Measurement of tangible standards is easy as it can be expressed in quantitative terms. The frequency of measurement depends on the nature of task being controlled qualitatively. So it depends on the task. So as I have given you an example of production also, as a if you talk about insurance companies, they have different targets, so on. Different companies have different standards and different targets, and you can monitor them differently. Comparison of actual and standard performance. Now, one is the target that is given to you, 25 lakhs per employee has to achieve for a particular insurance company. Then you have to compare them. Per month, you can calculate around 2.2 lakhs, around you will get per month sales are required for a particular person. The comparison of actual and standard performance. The comparison of actual performance with a planned target is very important. Deviation can be defined as a gap between the actual performance and standard. The deviation is how much it is expected that 2.25 lakhs you are to do business in 1 month, but you are not able to get 2.25 lakh business. Instead of that, you are getting only 1.5 lakh. So there is a deviation of or gap between the what is standard and what is actually happening, right? Manager has to find out the extent of deviation and cause of deviation. Then manager has to particularly find out what is the cause of that particular deviation, why that sale is not uh, up to the mark. The manager has to exercise control of it. He has to target those deviations which are critical and important for him. Then that manager has to find out deviation, and then uh, importantly then has to cover up or exercise the control of exception, right? Taking remedial actions. Once you have taken out that that particular person is not able to achieve the target, then taking remedial action, when particular remedial action should be taken. What any type of remedial action can be established once the cause and extent of deviation are known. The manager has to detect those errors and take remedial measures so that these deviations don't occur again. A remedial and corrective action can be replanning of the standard development duties, training, and work. There might be some problem in training. There might be some uh, other problem related to that particular person. You can take the remedial action for him. Then the next step is coordination. Coordination, coordination, harmonize, synchronization, and unifies individual efforts for better action for the achievement of business objectives. Coordination leads to blending the activities of different individual and group of individuals for achievement of certain objectives. In an enterprise which consists of a number of departments such as production, purchase, sale, and management, there is always need for all them to work in a synchronization and achieve the organization objective. It is a managerial activity which is needed at all the levels of management. So next step is coordination. Coordination. We already have discussed it, that different departments that is there in a particular uh, firm or particular organization, that those have to work together, like production department, purchase department, sale department, finance department. If a production department needs something for their facilities like water cooler and air cooler and anything like that, purchase department should react immediately so that they are facilitated and production is increased accordingly. And sales and production should coordinate with each other. What is the sales required? What sales are actual sales are there, and what production is required? They must almost suppose a car production or sales is 200 cars per month, and the production is 150. This coordination should be there. The production should be same as equal to the sales. such that you can achieve your goal. And similarly, finances also, the salaries and all that should reach their employees timely and all. So it is a managerial activity which is needed to be at all levels of funding. The planning function facilitates coordination by properly integrating and interrelating the plans of various departments. The organizational function facilitates coordination when a manager group and assign the various activities to subordinates or creates departments. The staffing function facilitates coordination for placing right number and quality of people at various fields. So organization function facilitates coordination when the manager group and assign the various activities. So various activities to the subordinates is given in the organization function. Then staffing is selecting the right people for right job. Directing function is to give directions to the managers and instructors and guides, motivate them to subordinate. And control function facilitates the coordination when the manager evaluates the task and checks whether performance is in conformity with the desired standards and take remedial action. We have already studied the control function in detail also. That coordination with the manager and evaluate the task, what is desired and what is being actually done. This is evaluated and checked for the deviation, and then remedial actions are taken. Principle of management, Henry Foyle, French. Now let us discuss about principles of management. There is a principle, Foyle's 14 principle, that was devised by Henry Foyle, in who was between 1841 to 1925. He is a French industrial engineer, worked in mining industry of France. In 1917, Hoyle published 14 following principles of scientific management in his book titled Administration Industriale et Generale, which was reprinted in English in 1949 as a Journal and Industrial Management. So we will discuss about principle of management. That was first principle is from Henry Foyle, and French industrial engineer who was working in an industrial mining industry of France, who published his 14 following principles of scientific management in his book, that is in French. Now it is again reprinted in English, whose name is General and Industrial Management. Now principle 1 is given 14 principle. First principle, we will discuss division of work. This principle proposes that work can be performed more efficiently and more productively if it is divided into small elements and assigning specific elements to specific work. Right? First principle is you have a work that is assigned to you. That work has to be divided into a number of small work. Right? As we have discussed in the morning also, suppose we want to plan a tournament in our department, then organizing a department needs 3 to 4 works that is to be done. So we will divide that work and assign each work to different uh, worker or employee. Then second principle, authority and responsibility. Then authority is who is having authority or responsible for something. Then responsibility is who handles the responsibility. Authority gives responsibility to some person. Manager requires a formal and informal authority to carry out their managerial responsibility. They require the authority commensurate with the responsibility to give orders so that tasks will be complete. This organization should implement the safeguards against manager abuse of power. Right? Authority, with the authority there is a responsibility also. When you are authorized to do something, then there is a chances of misuse of those authorities and responsibilities. So that should not be there. So then discipline, third principle, That is, this principle suggests that along with good supervision at all levels, organizations require a set of clearly defined rules and procedures aimed at attaining good employee discipline. Whatever the company wants to achieve, whatever the goals may be, whatever is required, some goal of an organization, that can only be achieved if employees are disciplined and obedient to the manager, right? Then only they can achieve their uh, desired goals. Unity of command. This is the one man, one boss rule. For any action, whosoever an employee should receive from one boss. This is very important. Like, suppose a person is working under two different departments, and the head of the first department and head of the second department, they are two different. If a person has to follow the orders of from two different persons, he cannot work with full efficiency. One boss will say they can do that, and second boss will say he has to do that. That employee will be frustrated and he will not work any of the tasks given by the both of the bosses. So this fourth principle, the unity of command, is very important. That the employee should get orders from one boss, right? And unity of direction. This principle proposes that there should be only one plan and one boss for each group of activities having the same objective. And unity of direction is that one plan should be implemented. Whatever plan you have selected, only one plan should be there. You cannot work simultaneously on two plans. There should be one plan only, and you should work on that. And that plan and a group of people should have one boss, so that same flow work will take place. That suppose assembly line. If you want to produce five, so same plan has to be followed to get that five parts to manufacture. Right? No two plans, no two bosses. One boss and one plan. That is the key for the success of the particular plan. Then subordination of individual interests to the common good. The goal of the organization must take precedence over the interest of individual or group of individuals. Fundamentally, this principle proposes that employee must sacrifice their interest for the good of all. Thus, an organization should employ only individuals who are fully committed to its objective and are willing to readily comply with its mandate. So, subordinate of individual interest is that the firm should hire, that organization should hire that person only who can sacrifice their own interest for the interest of the organization. That this is the sixth principle of this file, that the interest of organization should be given priority instead of individual interest or group of people's interest, right? Person organization should employ only those individuals who are committed and objective are clear that they can work for the organization only, right? So let us finish up to this. We will again start from this in the next lecture.